Okay, in this practice video, we're going to be looking at Aussie Yen on the 15-minute chart here. Now, this is going back to dated on 2016 on September 29th area, more or less. Now, again, so to be a buyer, you must first see where the sellers have ended their reign, so when the buyers can kick in. So let's take a look at the sellers here as they do their last lower low, lower high sequences. So let's do it like this. Okay, we got a lower high here. Lower high here, got a lower low here, followed by a lower low here. Now, the question remains is, at this point, when he was making lower low here and a lower low here, attempting to make a lower low here, and he didn't do it, and he re-attempted to make a lower low, and he came right back in, goes the question is, was that a real lower low, or is that a fake? Okay? Whatever the case may be, if that is a faker, if it is quickly coming back like that, we have to consider ourselves like, well, this is the previous high, and this is the breach that he did. The breach was right there, okay, in this area. That's his breach. He breached below that to make a lower low, and that's his recent high. Okay, because this high doesn't really count because it looks like the market's just going sideways here. As it gets up to here, we're still considering that this can't be a buy quite yet. Okay? This is an interesting spot here, and I'm going to teach you guys this in the upcoming lessons. This is a very interesting spot because it's a confusing state of mind, but it's also the money-making state of mind. Okay? There's a lesson called Money Spot coming up in the upcoming weeks about this. So, this is a very interesting spot here. Okay? So we don't know if it's a sell yet, and we don't know if it's a buy yet. Okay, but all we can assume is it's still in seller's territory. As we keep looking and looking and looking, and this is the 78 price up here, which is challenging its recent highs again. As it gets up to there, he holds, and he breaches it. Now we've entered into buyer's territory. As we're entering into buyer's territory, we might be wondering now, okay, well, how do we see when the buyers keeping the momentum? Okay, so we start with a high here, making higher highs, making higher highs. The lows also doing the same, making higher highs, higher lows. Okay, in this whole sequence, we're watching, okay, where did the breach officially happen? Is it this piece here? Or is it this piece here? Okay, so the first one or the second one? Okay, for those of you who are speaking this out loud or thinking in your mind that it's the second one, that is the correct answer. It is not the first one. It is not the first one, because notice we were watching this area to be breached. And the guy who caused the breach is right here. So this is the critical moment here. So you can see how this differs quite a bit with support equals resistance, because one can look at it in a minute way and say, well, that's a support resistance, or that's a support resistance. But when we look at this in terms of buyers and sellers to see which direction are we going, we get a better understanding that, wait a minute, it's up here. It's all the way up here. So let's get rid of these lines, and I'll keep it very simplistic. Keep it like this and clean. Okay, it's right around this area. Okay. But we cannot forget where it began as well to understand that that's the area that it breached it, but his low is here. Because his one low was here, he went higher, held, went higher, held, went higher. So this is the low of the spot. Okay, so we're watching these two areas, the breach and the low. Let's move it forward. Going. To most people, that may look like the sellers are here because it's broken that little support, teeny bitty support equals resistance. But remember, it's the buyer's game still. It is the buyer's game. So the buyers are waiting to take their turn again. We're watching this area carefully to see the higher high sequence. No higher high yet. Just a tad bit. It broke out, came back in. Okay, now in this stage here, very interesting spot. Did we make a higher high? I'm going to make it a dotted line. No. The market just ran up and ran back down. So if that's not a higher high, then the low and the breach is still counted as this one. It is not the new low here and the breach up there. We never made a higher high, so how can we assume that this is the next anchor, the next ground, the next barrier? So as it starts coming down like this, everyone jumps on the sell side. But we're still looking at this in terms of buying momentum. The buyers still have the ball. Okay? We're watching it closely. The lows never get breached here. It's pushing and pushing and pushing. Reattempt down here. It's creating a range above in the buyer's territory. Maintaining grounds. And here you go. Voila. Okay, so your buyers come back there. Okay, so I hope this example was good. Still, we need practice. More practice makes perfect. On to the next example.